Roman Reigns is leaving.
Well, wait a second, Michael Hamflet. Breaking news ahead of our WrestleMania Backlash stream. We are just getting ready here. There is just the two of us in the office, hence why I had to run out of shot. And I'm going to have to do that again at the end of the news. But yes, the big story breaking this afternoon, Michael Hamflet, is what?
Roman Reigns, you know the guy.
Yep.
Finger in the air. Is leaving WWE. Maybe.
Yes, this is very, very interesting, this development that has come about following a live event where?
In Trenton, New Jersey last night.
New Jersey, yes. He cut a promo after the show, sending a lovely message to the fans. I saw some videos from the New Jersey event. It turns out the bloodline's still massively over. Everyone very much the ones in New Jersey. But he said, I've been here a couple of times in the past 10 years, and I'm starting to work into a new phase in my career. I honestly don't know if I'll be back here again. If that's the case, I just want to say thank you for all these years of support. That happened after his main event with Drew McIntyre. And yeah, the internet, as you can probably tell, has exploded with this news.
Yeah, it's big because it's Roman Reigns. He is obviously undeniably the biggest star in the company, finger in the air or not. And now we have a career path that, you know, two prominent former big stars have already taken. There is almost becoming a playbook, as WWE would like to say themselves, for how to do this. You become a big star, you become the biggest star, and then the bigger industry says, we'll take your big star and we'll make you the biggest star in the world. Yeah. John Cena said all that to The Rock and then followed in The Rock's path. Roman Reigns said all that to John Cena and now maybe doing the same thing. These are not the first teases, but they could just be the first in a way that, I don't know, Roman Reigns himself is trying to make real what a lot of people have been speculating for a while. It could be, as has been speculated elsewhere, nothing more than Roman Reigns becoming a part-timer. Yeah. Just doing the house show, just doing the pay-per-views and premium live events television rather than doing the house shows. Maybe he was referring specifically to a building like in Trenton, New Jersey, where he wouldn't be expected to do these kind of things anymore, and you could just see him if you bought tickets to WrestleMania. Yeah. The Brock Lesnar schedule.
Yeah, exactly.
For the want of that shorthand. There are a number of different ways in which a big main eventer can no longer work every single night on the grind, and maybe he was referring to that. But, you know, maybe not. Maybe not. WrestleMania next year was deemed to be Hollywood enough with him and The Rock. Maybe it's like...
I'm just riding up into the Hollywood Hills. Maybe Thanks very much, everyone. See you later.
Sees those big letters from, like, staring at the WrestleMania lights and thinks, I'll have some more of them.
By that logic as well, the next person that calls out Roman Reigns for going Hollywood will become a Hollywood star.
That's it. It's like when Edge...
Boogs, get on it, mate!
It's like when Edge asked for a WrestleMania opponent. We'll just answer that. Seth Rollins, that's how you get on the card. That's it. The first person to call out, it's going to be Cody, isn't it? It's going to be Cody.
Yeah, oh God, it is as well. Look, do you know how I discovered this? Mm-hmm. So I've not been on Twitter over the weekend and popped on to see what's going on. And you know how Twitter sometimes doesn't give you the latest tweets; it just gives you popular tweets or what have you. It kind of annoys me that, if I'm perfectly honest, because it gives me stuff from like 7 hours ago, and I go, "Oh, cool! So you tell me Chesterfield have got a chance in this? Oh, we've already lost 2-0. Okay." I saw a tweet from, I don't know if you follow them. I don't think I follow them. Wrestling Banana.
No.
Who I think I had been clicking on their tweets because they did those brilliant moving graphics, which everyone loves, of course. And they'd created, I should say, a Roman Reigns going to AEW graphic. I nearly fell off my chair. Subsequently read about this and thought, it's probably more than likely he's going to be a Hollywood star. Mm-hmm. The interesting thing here is, I think it's fair to say, WWE has quite a lot of their eggs in the Roman Reigns basket. I'm not saying there is no one left if he goes, but he is someone, and I'm not suggesting that he's going to lose the 6-man tonight at WrestleMania Backlash, drop the title at Hell in a Cell, and by SummerSlam be like, well, thanks very much, guys, see you in 5 years. Yeah. But there will be a huge void, even if it's 6 months from now, a year from now. When Roman Reigns goes, I mean, he is someone they have invested a lot in, of course.
Massively. Greatly so. This is far from RVD getting popped in a car and it's like, right, both belts, off you come.
Yes.
I don't think it's one of those situations. But yeah, look, this is how WWE operate now. It's the exact same thing that happened with John Cena, and you could feel when he was phasing back and they hadn't quite got Roman there, you could feel the gap.
Yeah.
It's their job to make stars, to always keep the machine grinding. Vince McMahon wants that machine to keep grinding, so he's got to put stars in his place. It's a good test for them. I think it's way more, with respect to Roman Reigns, who I think is excellent on his day, like I've said this myself on my own Twitter, and I've like whinged on about it in other bits of content that we do here. I think he's kind of giving them a cheat code. They get 20 minutes of their television show to do nothing because he just walks to the ring and does that. Like we get 2 seconds of video on our YouTube channel for that. WWE make 20 minutes and get $1 billion for a time. It's about time that we're forced to test themselves again by lifting him out of their main events, out of every segment where they need him. You know, they've got a huge roster. They've got assets with which to get an even bigger and greater roster if they want to. They're the biggest in the world at this still. Making stars should still be their bread and butter. And I think their landscape is far more fascinating, ironically enough, with a Roman Reigns lifted out of it. It forces the hand.
Yeah, I see this in a similar way to when I hear about wrestlers getting injured, and I never wish that on anyone. But I often think that this is sort of blessing in disguise when someone goes away for a bit, or like this, if someone is going to be, like you say, just sort of lifted out. I don't see it as, oh my God, there's going to be this void, and what are they going to do? It's not like he said, like I say, I'm off in 2 weeks, goodbye forever sort of thing. They have time to plan this out. You suspect maybe it even leads to WrestleMania 39 or beyond that, you know. He said what he'd been there, what did he say exactly? I've been here a couple of times in the past 10 years. So by that maths, you've got 5 years. But what I'm saying here is I saw sort of several of the what I describe as opposite Vincels on Twitter, which is people who cry laugh emoji about WWE and take dodgy positions. Not saying that there isn't places you can mock WWE for, but I think turning around and saying, WWE, you've got no stars, is a load of bollocks. Without doubt, Roman Reigns is their biggest star right now, but you can't tell me that, I mean, still got Brock Lesnar knocking about, let's not forget, but Seth Rollins, who they've done and kind of buggered up before, but he's certainly still got the in-ring talent. Cody's just shown up. Big E, when he hopefully finally recovers, is one of the guys that we've always pitched to take one of the titles off Roman Reigns.
Feels just about
Sasha, Becky, you know, the list goes on and on. I don't think it's quite the same as like you say, when Cena left. And I hope, finally, and it's more of a hope than anticipation, this is the catalyst for WWE realising you don't just have to have one guy or girl. You can have a few that are all really good. You know, like when you think back to, what about the Attitude Era? Yes, you think automatically of a Stone Cold and of The Rock. But then you also had Triple H. You also had Jericho. You also had, you know, the smattering of talents. You need 1 and 1A talents rather than just one and then like a few threes knocking about.
Totally. Basically. I welcome this news now. We are, a month and a half away from entering stadium season SED.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre, for Christ's sake. How did I forget him?
3 in a row. Hundreds of thousands of people. Push yourself, test yourself, push your guys, push your girls. See who steps up in that enormous setting when you've got 3 goals in a row to make it happen. Let's just see. Like, sometimes it is worth strapping the rocket. It's not probably going to be an Ezekiel. But for example, Ezekiel's getting big response.
He's won me over.
Kevin Owens is really helping that act. All that sort of stuff. You just don't
give money in the bank briefcase to Sami Zayn.
Like that. Just commit.
Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee. Just commit to people and see what happens.
Yes, exactly. It's going to be very interesting to see where this goes next. We'll, of course, keep you up to date with this. There'll probably be an update on this in a few hours' time when Andy and I are still here doing the news after the premium live event. But if you're watching this before WrestleMania Backlash, do join myself and Michael Hamflet for that one. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and continue the conversation on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE, where you can also find me. I'm going to run off camera now to stop the recording. But Michael Hamflet, to wrap things up and say this slowly because I've got to get over there and press the right button, where can people follow you on Twitter?
They can follow me at Michael Hamflet and us at WhatCultureWWE. All that sort of news, all that sort of good stuff. And Will Bonds made it to the buttons. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you soon.